Hi there, this is David. Welcome to Module 1. This is segment 4, and this is about man-woman energies. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the Yin Yang symbol and the Yin Yang energies in greater depth. So to begin with, I want to draw two circles on the board. One of them is representing the energy of Yang, which is to do with the red power. And the second one is the energy of Yin, which is the blue power. So here we go, we have the two energetics. Now, what are the two natures of these two forces? Well, what we can find is that the Yin is blue, of course, so we're going to put the colour blue. It's more feminine aspected, so we have the feminine power. It has about it more the nature of Venus. It has the symbol, which is a circle with a cross, which is more grounding and planetary. It also is to do with the woman. So we have the properties, I'm starting to build the properties that go with the yin. Now when we go to the yang, we come to the fact that this is to do with the dynamic of red. This is more the masculine dynamic here, so masculine. It's more to do with Mars, so the energy of Mars and Venus. We have the masculine symbol, which is more directional with that arrow, and we're looking at the nature of man. Now we could also go to metals, we'd say iron, which is more to do with Mars. We could also to do with, we would have here copper. If we went to the realm of hormones, we'd be looking at testosterone here, and we'd be looking over here at estrogen. So we have these different natures. Also in the red, we'd have the nature of the rod, which is more to do with that, the rod symbol. And here over with the yin, it would be the symbol of the cup or the chalice. So we have the rod and the cup as well. Now, we could carry on with these two natures, this binary system of the planet, and we could actually produce a list that would go on for pages. We could make our way through the whole flip chart doing this. We're not going to. I wanted to introduce, though, that we have these two prime energetics. So we have the red energetic, we have the blue energetic. Now, if they were complete unto themselves, if the red was entirely red and self-contained, and the blue was entirely blue and self-contained, there'd be no reason for there to be any interforce between them, which is the dynamic of the energy exchange happening. The yin-yang symbol is all about how the interplay or interchange of energies is caused to happen. And so imagine, if you would, that this red power, it exists all together in its own domain, and the blue exists over here. What it says in the yin-yang symbol is that we take the top 1/3 of this cone and the top 1/3 of this cone and actually switch them over. Now that is shown diagrammatically as follows. We now have 1/3 of the yin energy held within the yang and 1/3 of the yang energy held within the yin. Now what does this mean? Well, it means that there's constantly an interaction from blue to blue and red to red, from yang to yang and yang to and yin to yin. This is shown in the symbol of yin and yang, because here what we have is we have a dynamic where now the yang energy is shown on one part and the yin energy is shown on the other. So I'm going to represent the yang with shaded lines and the yin with the unshaded lines. So what we now see is that red power, that heating power, that masculine power, which tends to bring things more to a point, that's chasing itself. It's trying to, you could say, get its own back. The blue power, the yin, well, that's also moving, trying to recapture its missing part, which is causing the symbol to spin. Now, something about spinning things draw in power. If ever you stood in front of a fan, you'll know this principle where there's something that's spinning, it's drawing in air, it's drawing in power from behind, and it's pushing it out the front, and you stand in front of it, you can feel the airflow coming through. I'm not suggesting there's a giant yin-yang symbol in the sky bringing energy through. What I'm saying is it represents the interplay of two binary forces, which as they work together, cause a third power to come through. So we therefore have ongoing power generation, literally generation by generation. Right now there's 7 billion people on the planet. Every one of us is attached to this binary power. We're attached to the power of yang, we're attached to the power of yin, we're attached to the red and the blue, to Mars and Venus. And it isn't that men are entirely to do with the Mars power and women are Venus power. It doesn't work like that. The men contain both the red and the blue. The women also contain both the blue and the red. So we are a combination of these two forces, just like in our arterial and venal blood system. And when we look at another person, there's energy that passes from us to them and from them to us. This is why this dynamic, this yin-yang dynamic, it doesn't depend upon a romantic relationship. It's not saying there needs to be intercourse between the people physically. We're talking about interforce, which is to do with energy exchange. And the moment you look in another person's eye, the moment you pass through their energy field, energies are being exchanged. And it's not only with the human being. This masculine, feminine, yin-yang power, it passes through all organic life on the planet. So that's why male and female is a general term for all organic life. Man and woman, that's when we start to get specific into the human domain. So this yin-yang symbol, it really is worthy of contemplation. It's worthy of further thought. It's rooted in the feature that there are two fundamental energies featured by the aspect of red and blue, red bringing things more to a focus, blue being more expansive in its nature, and how the two of them work together to produce a third power, a third state. And that really is a deepening look into the mystery of yin and yang and how they work together. And I thought to put a video with this rather than have it just as words on paper, so we could bring more substantia. And of course, if you choose to continue this process of looking for the pairings, looking for more work on expansion, contraction, red and blue, how it all works, you can do that and build your own list of how there are these two binary forces which come together and actually produce a trinity effect. But more on that another time, and hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. So bye for now.